The pastor's wife walked into the church with blood dripping from her hands. She didn't look shocked. She didn't look confused. She walked straight to the altar, lifted her hands, and shouted, "The sacrifice is complete." Everyone in the church froze, not even a single whisper. And then a loud bang came from under the altar. The ground cracked. What crawled out from that hole will haunt me forever. But to understand how it got to this, I have to take you back to the very beginning. My name is Adaobi, and I used to love going to church. Like many young women in my small Nigerian town, Sunday service was the highlight of my week. I would dress up, sing in the choir, and feel like I was part of something holy. Our church, the Divine Rock of Heaven Ministry, was the biggest in the area. People came from neighboring towns just to attend Pastor Jeremiah's services. He was a powerful preacher, commanding, dramatic, and always dressed in all white. He preached about fire and brimstone, about enemies falling down and dying, about demons being roasted alive. People screamed, "Amen," like their lives depended on it. But it was what happened after service that started to worry me. I stayed back one Sunday to clean the altar as part of the choir group. Everyone had gone, but I heard voices inside the main church hall. I thought it was the pastor and some elders. So I went closer. But what I saw was not a prayer meeting. It was a circle, a group of 5 people in long black robes. One of them was Pastor Jeremiah. They were chanting something in a language I had never heard before. In the center of their circle was a white cock, headless, yet somehow still moving. I gasped. Suddenly, his eyes were glowing red. "Who is there?" he thundered. I ran. From that day, my life changed. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing strange whispers, like people chanting in my ears. When I finally closed my eyes, I dreamt of a giant black snake crawling through the pews of our church, eating people one by one. When I woke up, I had scratches all over my body. My bed sheet was torn, and there was a strange smell in my room, like something burning. I told my mother, but she said I was imagining things. But every night, the dreams got worse. And every Sunday, the pastor would look at me differently, like he knew I had seen something. One day, after choir practice, he called me to his office. His office smelled like cheap perfume and something else I couldn't place, something rotten. He offered me a glass of juice. I refused. Then he leaned forward and smiled. God revealed to me, he said slowly, that you are special. You carry a certain light. That light must be guided, or it will be consumed. I didn't know what he meant, but his smile made my skin crawl. He handed me a small bottle of oil. Rub this on your forehead every night, he said. It will protect you. I threw the oil away the moment I got home. And that's when all hell broke loose. One of our choir members, Chidinma, died that week. They said she fell into a well, but I knew better. She was the only other person who had ever expressed doubts about Pastor Jeremiah. We had talked just once about how strange things we are beginning to feel. 2 days after her funeral, another member, Brother Emeka, was found dead in his room, burned. They said his generator exploded. But the truth was in the way his fingers were clenched, like he had seen something unholy before he died. And then, during the next Sunday service, someone screamed in the middle of praise and worship. We turned. A woman at the back was foaming at the mouth. She kept shouting, "Don't let it in! Don't let it in!" Pastor Jeremiah calmly walked down, touched her in her forehead, and she collapsed. People clapped. They said it was deliverance. But I was shaking. Because in her final moments, before she passed out, her eyes locked with mine, and she whispered, "Run." That night, I tried to leave town. I packed my things and called a friend with a bike to pick me up. But on my way out, I saw a group of men standing at the junction, all dressed in white. One of them was the church usher. They were waiting for me. I hid inside a bush till morning. When I finally got back home, the door was wide open. My mother was gone. But in her room was a note written in shaking handwriting. They told me you are the sacrifice. Run, Adaobi. Run. I decided to confront it head on. I went to church the following Sunday. The church was full. Pastor Jeremiah stood on the altar, dressed in black this time. The first and only time I had ever seen him wear that color. He looked directly at me and smiled. Then his wife walked in, hands dripping with blood. The sacrifice is complete, she shouted. That's when the ground beneath the altar cracked open, and a creature I cannot describe crawled out, half human, half something else. Its face was stitched, its body covered in fresh wounds. People were screaming, running, but the doors wouldn't open. The creature looked at me and hissed. Suddenly, everything went blank. When I woke up, I was in a hospital. A nurse told me the church had burned down. Only 3 people survived. The official story was a gas explosion, but I knew the truth. I've not been to any church since that day. And if you are still going, be careful. Not every man behind the pulpit is serving the God you think he is. Some are feeding him something else. If you ever walk into a church and feel something isn't right, if your dreams become haunted, if the pastor tells you you are special, run before they haunt you. Because once the altar tastes blood, it never stops. It never stops asking for more. 3 months after the church burned down, rumors began to spread. People claimed they had seen Pastor Jeremiah, not in town, but deep in the forest, near the abandoned shrine of a forgotten deity. Some said he had gone mad. Others whispered that he was cursed. I didn't believe any of it until I saw him myself. I had traveled far away to a new town, trying to start over. But one evening, while walking through a quiet market, I saw a beggar crouched by a well, covered in torn clothes, his body thin and bruised. When I looked closer, it was him. It was Pastor Jeremiah. I froze. His eyes were blank. His mouth trembled constantly, repeating the same words. The blood wouldn't stop. He didn't recognize me. He didn't recognize himself. The powerful man who once controlled 1,000 voices now couldn't remember his own name. They said he wandered into a river weeks later and never came out. Nobody ever found him again. Some say he has been taken by the same force he once served. Moral lessons. Not everyone who wears a white robe is pure. Evil often disguises itself as holy. Always watch the fruits, not just the appearances. Second, blind loyalty can be dangerous. Question what doesn't feel right, even in religious settings. Faith should never replace discernment. Thirdly, power without accountability becomes poison. When leaders are treated like gods, corruption often follows. Number 4, some secrets destroy those who keep them. Silence in the face of evil can make you its next victim. Number 5, spiritual manipulation is real. Be careful of those who claim to speak of God but demand fear, not love. And lastly, evil collects its debt. No matter how long it takes, darkness will consume those who serve it. Thank you for watching till the end. This is Ifijide's Folktales. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Also, share with me your thoughts, your opinions. Have you ever been in such a situation, or have you ever experienced any unusual feeling in a church setting? Please share your opinions in the comment sections, your experiences. See you in my next one.